If you're editing in DaVinci Resolve and feel like your workflow is slow, messy, or just not optimized, this video is for you. Today, I'm going to show you powerful tips that will save you hours in the long run. We're talking project templates, proxies, depth maps, green screen techniques, sound design tricks, silence detection, and custom shortcuts, everything that makes your editing faster and more professional. These are not beginner gimmicks. These are real workflow improvements that I personally use to speed up my edits up to 5x. Let's get started. This might seem obvious, but creating project templates can save you a huge amount of time in your editing process. A well-built template streamlines your workflow by giving you a consistent folder structure, pre-organized timelines, and a clean system that makes every project easier to read and manage. Instead of rebuilding everything from scratch, you start with a professional structure already in place. Here's how you set it up. Create a new project and name it something like Template Client YouTube Videos. Once inside, open the project settings by clicking the cogwheel in the bottom right corner. Set your timeline, frame rate, resolution, color management, and any other default settings you typically use. When everything is configured the way you like, click Save. Next, go to the Media page and create organized bins such as A-roll, B-roll, Assets, Music, SFX, and Timelines. This instantly improves your organization and can easily make your workflow up to 5 times faster. Inside the timeline bin, create a new timeline and optimize it the way you normally edit. Set up your video tracks for A-roll, B-roll, transitions, and text effects. Do the same for your audio tracks. You can even assign specific track colors so when you're deep into an edit, you can quickly navigate to the right layer without confusion. Once everything is ready, save the project. From now on, whenever you start a new job, simply open the project manager, right-click your template, and open it in read-only mode. Then save it as a new project. This way, you keep your original template untouched while maintaining a consistent, professional workflow every single time. This tool is incredibly useful. Maybe you want to darken the background without affecting the entire image, or add a little more contrast to your subject without touching the rest of the shot. The depth map lets you make those adjustments naturally and precisely. And remember, there are endless creative possibilities with this tool, all without the need for manual rotoscoping. On the color page, simply add a depth map OFX to a corrector node. Adjust the near limit and far limit to define your depth range, and use gamma to refine midtones. If needed, invert the selection. Enable isolation. Use target depth to pick your focus point 1 for foreground, 0 for background, then fine-tune with tolerance and softness. Because depth map uses GPU processing, lower the quality setting while adjusting, then switch to higher quality for final output. Once your matte looks good, disable the preview. If your grade isn't respecting the matte, make sure OFX Alpha is enabled on the node. Since depth map uses AI to analyze scene geometry, it handles complex shapes like hair or detailed backgrounds extremely well. And that's depth map powerful, flexible, and capable of saving you hours of masking work. Let's say you're editing your video and suddenly realize you need to add something in the middle of your timeline. Most people select everything after that point, drag it forward to create space, insert the missing clip, and then select everything again to move it back into place. That's unnecessary. Instead, simply move your playhead to the exact position where you need space and press Option+Y on Mac or Alt+Y on Windows. DaVinci Resolve will automatically select everything after the playhead for you. Now, just drag once to create space, add your footage, and you're done. It's faster, cleaner, and much more efficient. A quick tip. Another common mistake is pulling a clip out of the timeline just to find a better section of it, trimming it somewhere else, and then placing it back. There's no need for that extra work. Instead, switch to trim mode and adjust the clip directly in the timeline. You can refine the in and out points exactly where the clip sits. Scroll through to find the perfect moment and make precise adjustments without disrupting your edit. It keeps your workflow smooth and gives you better control over your timeline. When you're working on larger projects, there will be times when your computer starts to slow down. As an editor, that can completely break your flow. Playback lags, scrubbing feels heavy, and instead of focusing on creativity, you're dealing with frustration. This is one of the most underrated workflow improvements, but in the long run, it can save you a massive amount of time and stress. DaVinCi Resolve gives you 2 easy ways to generate proxy files. The first method is using Blackmagic's dedicated proxy generator app. Simply open the app, click the Add button, and select the folder containing your footage. Then choose a preset based on your system performance. Generally, the first option works well for lower spec computers, while the higher quality options are better suited for more powerful machines. Once selected, the app will begin generating proxy files. It may take some time, but you can continue working on other tasks while it processes. When it's finished, open DaVinCi Resolve and import your footage. You'll notice a small proxy icon on the corner of each clip. To enable the proxies, simply right-click the clips and switch to the proxy media option. The second method is useful if you forgot to generate proxies at the beginning of your project. While inside Resolve, just right-click your footage in the media pool and select Generate Optimized Media. It will take some time to process, but once completed, Resolve will use those optimized files during playback. The result is smoother performance, faster editing, and a much more efficient workflow. When you're working on a long timeline and need to zoom into a specific section, most people grab the zoom slider and manually adjust it until they find the right spot. That works, but it's slow. Instead, simply place your playhead where you want to focus and press Shift+Z. Instantly, DaVinCi Resolve zooms to fit your entire timeline. Press it again, and it toggles back to your previous zoom position. This makes navigating long projects much faster and keeps your workflow smooth. Another common situation happens when you're working with multiple stacked clips and want to move a title or graphic up one track. Normally, you'd click and drag the clip upward, but that can be messy, especially when timelines get crowded. Sometimes it snaps to the wrong track or feels buggy. Instead, just select the clip and press Option+Up arrow to move it up one track instantly. This works for multiple selected clips as well, making vertical track organization quick and effortless. Let's say you're editing a 30-second short, but the music track you want to use is 3 minutes long. How do you make it fit naturally into your video? DaVinci's AI music editor can give you a decent starting point, but it's not always as clean as manually shaping the track yourself. Here's a simple trick I use. If the song doesn't have a strong natural intro, go to the end of the track. Find the final beat, cut it precisely on that beat, reverse it, and use it as a natural riser to introduce the song. Often, the ending of a track has a clean fade or impact that works perfectly when reversed. It creates a smooth and intentional buildup without needing extra sound effects. Now let's talk about endings. Sometimes when you cut the music to fit your video length, the ending feels abrupt. In that case, cut on a strong beat, duplicate a small section of that beat, and turn it into a compound clip. Drag that duplicate slightly forward to create space. Then, mute the second clip and return to the original one. Add a reverb effect and adjust the decay so the sound naturally fades out. This creates a smooth, cinematic ending instead of a hard stop. Small sound design adjustments like these make your edits feel intentional, polished, and much more professional. Before we continue, I want to quickly thank Envato Elements for sponsoring this video. If you're serious about leveling up your edits, having access to high-quality assets is a game changer. With Envato Elements, you get unlimited downloads of stock footage, music, sound effects, templates, fonts, graphics, basically everything you need to speed up your workflow and make your projects look more professional. You can find everything in one place and focus on the creative side of editing. If you want to check it out, I've left a link in the description. Huge thanks to Envato Elements for supporting the channel. Now let's get back to the video. Green screen and depth-based masking are essential techniques every editor should learn, regardless of skill level. But let's be honest, getting a clean green screen key can sometimes be frustrating. Uneven lighting, color spill, or messy edges can make the process feel overwhelming. So here are two powerful methods you can use to get better results inside DaVinci Resolve. On the Edit page, search for the 3D keyer effect and drag it onto your clip. Then, enable OpenFX Overlay in the viewer so you can see your key selection clearly. In the inspector under Effects, select the eyedropper tool and click and drag over the green area of your footage. You'll immediately see a black and white matte preview. White represents what's being kept, and black is what's being removed. Click and drag across the green background until you feel confident with the selection. If some green areas remain, use the Add plus Picker to refine those sections. To remove leftover green spill on your subject, adjust the despill slider. If the edges look rough or choppy, open the Matte Finesse controls. This gives you full control over cleanup. You can fine-tune shadows, midtones, highlights, and post-filter settings to create a more natural edge. With a little refinement, you can achieve a very clean and professional result. Now, let's say your client wants to replace the green area on a laptop screen with an image. In that case, right-click the clip and open it in the Fusion page. Press Shift plus Spacebar and add a Planar tracker node. Track the movement of the laptop screen carefully. Once the tracking is complete, change the operation mode to corner pin and define the 4 corners around the screen area so Resolve understands the exact surface you're tracking. Next, add a Delta Keyer node to properly remove the green screen from the laptop display. Use the eyedropper tool to sample the green area and refine it if needed. Scrub through the clip to make sure both the key and the tracking data look solid and stable. If everything feels good, drag the image you want to insert into Fusion and connect it to the foreground of the Planar tracker. Then adjust the merge settings so the replacement sits correctly under the tracked surface. Instantly, your new image will stick naturally to the laptop screen, following its movement with accurate perspective and realistic motion. One of the biggest mistakes editors make is relying on the default keyboard shortcuts that come with DaVinci Resolve. Many of them aren't optimized for real-world editing workflows, and over time, those extra clicks and movements add up. Instead, build the habit of identifying the actions you use most frequently and create custom shortcuts that match your workflow. For example, when I'm focused purely on the timeline, I don't need extra panels open, so I've set the Tab key to quickly open and close the inspector, and the tilde key to toggle the media pool. Editing feels much cleaner when unnecessary panels are hidden. Setting this up takes less than 30 seconds. Just open the keyboard customization menu, search for Inspector, remove the default shortcut, and assign it to the Tab key. If there's a conflict, simply remove the other assignment. Then do the same for the media pool and assign it to the tilde key. Just make sure Selection Follows Playhead is enabled so everything works smoothly. Another shortcut I use constantly is Ripple Delete. Normally, if you delete a clip in the middle of your timeline, you then have to manually remove the gap or shift everything back into place. That's unnecessary. I've assigned Ripple Delete to the S key. Now, when I press S, the clip is deleted and the gap closes instantly, all in one step instead of 3. When you're working on long-form content like podcasts, you'll notice there are often a lot of silent gaps between sentences. Manually trimming each silence one by one can take hours and completely drain your editing energy. But thanks to Blackmagic's AI-powered silence detection feature, you don't have to do that anymore. With your clip selected, go to the Clip menu, then navigate to Audio and choose Detect Silence or Ripple Delete Silent. A panel will appear where you can adjust the threshold, which determines how quiet a section needs to be before it's considered silent. You can also enable the option to automatically add crossfades between each cut, which keeps everything sounding smooth and natural. Once you've adjusted the settings to your liking, click Remove. DaVinci Resolve will instantly cut out all the silent sections and Ripple Delete them, closing the gaps automatically. It will also apply crossfades if you selected that option. For podcast editors or anyone working with dialogue-heavy content, this tool alone can save you hours of manual trimming and dramatically speed up your workflow. Magic Mask V2 is a major upgrade from Blackmagic, and honestly, it fixes one of the most frustrating issues from before. Previously, Magic Mask would sometimes lose its tracking data. If that happened, you had to track the same clip all over again, which wasted a lot of time. Now, tracking data is preserved, so you don't have to repeat the same work again and again. Let me show you a couple of practical use cases. First, let's say you want to change the color of a skater's hoodie. On the Color page, open the Magic Mask tab. By default, it's set to Faster, but switch it to Better for more accurate results. Turn on the Overlay icon so you can clearly see what's being selected. Then paint over the hoodie. If Magic Mask accidentally selects unwanted areas, like the hand in this case, use the negative picker tool to remove those parts and refine the selection. Once everything looks clean, hit Track. When tracking is complete, turn off the overlay, and now you can change the hoodie's color or apply any adjustment you like. Another very common use case is placing text behind a moving person. Drag your clip above the text layer, then open it in the Fusion page. Press Shift plus Spacebar, search for Magic Mask, and add the node. In the inspector, switch to Better mode for higher quality. Select your subject carefully, refine if needed, and then track the clip. Once tracking is complete, your text will automatically appear behind the subject, creating a clean and professional layered effect. And that's it. These are the workflow upgrades that completely change the way I edit in DaVinci Resolve. Remember, editing faster is not about rushing. It's about building smart systems, templates, shortcuts, proxies, and automation so you can focus on creativity instead of wasting time. If you found this useful, give this video a like so I know to make more content like this. And if you want more practical Resolve tips that actually improve your workflow, make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.